And the beat goes on. We're on to episode 51 here in the challenge series. I'm trying to get a little variety in the intros instead of "alright, ladies and gentlemen," over and over again. Self-awareness is the first step to change, or some weird proverb like that. I don't know. Episode 51 is here. Good comment, good intro. It was one of the most weeks ever in the challengers. We had that crazy thing between the two truck guys last time out. That did in fact result in Martin Simpson's truck being totaled. So he is no longer amongst us as drivers. He was the imposter. He was voted out. That seems like an appropriate reaction to that body. Thank you. And we are green here for the first episode. First race of the episode, of episode 51. 680 class racing heads to Fuji Speedway. And for whatever reason, I didn't quite understand that this was the plan, but I don't think it was, but every single car in this race is Japanese. So, I mean, I bring my GTO to this race, so it's 680, so that would have, I would have broken the seal, so, luckily, I didn't, well, I say luckily, I don't know if it was required, but at any rate, I didn't break that, so every car here is Japanese in origin. Natsuki Narashi is the focus point in her FCRX-7. She's already a little ways up the grid. Up to 15th after, not the best start, but not the worst either, obviously. The worst start would be she'd already be out of the race. She's had one car wrecked here. I'd imagine not wanting to have a second. Gemini trying to keep his position, but I don't think that's going to work as yet. Now the FCE is going to have a really good exit. Let's see how many cars she gets down the front stretch here. Normally her vehicle having pretty low horsepower would be a really bad thing here at this track, but since every car here is Japanese, I don't think many cars here do have much in the way of power. That one in an orderly line, except for Natsuki getting ahead of Shoji. a little bit squirrely out of there, but I think that might be by design because, I don't know, she likes a little bit of a more maneuverable vehicle, so she gets kind of cut off at the pass by Akira. Car doesn't seem super stable through those kinks. It's kind of weird because it's not normally okay. Yeah, that's pretty wide, Natsuki. They're not going to get a whole lot of space there. Just in general, the car looks to be a little bit on edge. I don't know if, again, that's by design. I know Natsuki likes being a little bit slidey. Obviously, she's a former Drift Pro. Former and, like, sort of current-ish, because she still does that, but not very often now that she's in the Challenge Series. Man, just to get a better exit than the all-wheel drive Subaru. I don't know, how that's even feasible. And also gets 2 other 4-wheel drive cars, and the other RX-7 of Nakazato. Okay, and another one. Yeah, sure. Just pass the whole field, why don't we, in turn 1? Now it's just between Natsuki and the leading Kira Kishibe in her 370. A driver that's not really had a whole lot of notable successes in the series. She's just kind of been there. And Natsuki makes her look like a fool going through turn 4. And Natsuki is now the leader. Now she just has to hang on to this drift machine for about a lap and a quarter, or like a lap and a half, really. And the victory will be hers. Doesn't seem very good under brakes either, as Michiko is going to go for P2 against Kira. I don't think she's gonna get it though. I mean, she'll have the inside again, but Kira pulled ahead. Never mind, she's back to the inside. Noriaki is watching intently to see if these two mess it up anywhere. Now, Kira wanted to go for it all. She wanted to send it on the leader. As Natsuki sort of made a wide arc into the last turn, which is normally what you're meant to do. And it's on to the final lap. Tetsuya Harada with a huge run down the back stretch, or front stretch. Where am I? Really, Noriaki? You thought that was gonna work? How do you think this is? A line of Japanese vehicles heads towards turn 3. Natsuki is pretty well clear of Kishibe by this point. Oh, you are not having a good day, Otto. That far back, I don't remember him ever getting damaged during the race either, so he's just that down on pace, it looks like. You know, battle for P2. This time it's between Tetsuya and Michiko. Kira's still there. She's gonna try to get third back, but will not succeed. That was quite a panoramic shot there. Heading up to the line, it looks like Tetsuya Harada is going to take second place, but Natsuki will be uncontested as she grabs the victory at Fuji. It's the lone representative of Black Stallion Motorsports in this race. Tetsuya woke up and chose relevance today as he gets his first, real good result in a race. Michiko as well, and actually, it's really second, third, fourth, and fifth. They've been here for a while, but they haven't been doing much, so this has been sort of a breakout event for all of those, and all three of, really, 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers accounted for there. I can count, I swear. And round 2 of this episode is go. It is 760 racing at Lago Maggiore. This category is kind of struggling. There's only 21 vehicles in it. Some are already doom posting, saying that this thing is gonna go the way of 600 sometime soon. No, because so long as there are at least 20 vehicles in the category, that will never happen. Because then we can have a full grid like this. And there's one person that's not here. I couldn't be bothered to try and run the logistics to figure out who was missing. As there's a flag of the yellow variety, and it looks like Schwartz. He is the cause, one way or another. We'll get a replay on this. It's like Tater Chip up the inside, and Dedrick's attempts to give them some room puts Dedrick's own car in the grass, and that doesn't really bode well with most racing cars, that's for sure. Watch trying to take a spot away from Scarborough. I don't think she'll have too much success. Never mind. And how about I get a little bit of the action? Never mind, I just back out. And do you remember this much? Yeah, cars aren't supposed to do that normally. Can Eric recover this one? No. Ow. Oh, God. And he wasn't the only one that went for a spill, either. Let's see who else was that. Oh, my word. Well, there's a shot for you. Yeah, Parker saves that. I don't know how he did, but Dorica Zoya finds the same exact wall in the same exact way that Eric did. Who else? Back wall, a little bit out of shape, taps the wall. DePrisco, wildly out of control. We've had another, what is that downhill right from the Nordschleife that collected like 5 cars just because nobody knew what the corner was gonna do. Tater Chip into the wall, Barbara spinning wildly, Riley assisting in that rotation. Just get a catch-all view here, which just... Yeah, this has been ugly. Might have to just red flag this one. Shit. We didn't do that. But we probably should have, to be honest, since this was a crash that collected like 5 different cars in it. Some recovered better than others, to say the least. Barbara spun like 6 times, but managed to get going again. Dom, Dedrick, and Eric. Oh no, Dom... Who all went... Ow. Huh? Something adding up here. I guess she must have just had like a glancing blow of some kind. We never threw the red flag for that, possibly because everybody did get going pretty quickly. Even Eric, who took the most damage from that, he still got up and went away. And many other cars that even avoided the crash still took damage. Terrence didn't have a big wreck, but he still hit the wall. Same goes for Tater Chip. And Riley, I think, ran into the back of Barbara, giving her more damage. Otherwise, she would have been fine. Both of them would have been fine, for that matter. And meanwhile, following that absolute mess of cars, I am running P7. Parker also, I don't know how he kept a hold of this thing, considering that car was in such a disrepaired state of wheeling that it was making sparks off the rear diffuser. But somehow, some way, he managed to keep this car out of the pit yard. Pit yard, pit road. Everyone's just getting some big air off this jump, but most guys up here aren't having a problem holding onto the vehicle. There are some, too, that are just not getting hang time. Oh, Jake found the wall. Basically used the wall to keep his car facing forwards. Carly did no such thing. Yep. Double sparks, and the 360, and 720. Luckily, she had some space to keep that thing under her, because the next cars coming up to this area were cars that were spun on the last lap, so she had some space. Miss Eric hang on to things this time. Yes. Learn from that mistake, but it might be too little too late, I would say. I've now entered the top 5 and then some. Parker's trying to intimidate David Danvers or something. I think that might be a little easier said than done, just a guess. Okay, just easily breeze ahead of Stillwell. Psych, he tries to outbrake me. I just about stay ahead of him. Not my best line through there. Uh-oh! I think Wayne was trying to do too much to stay with me. He does do a little 360 and return onto the circuit, though. And just like that, suddenly I have seized the lead from Rise. How long can that last? Decently long, it looks like. At least through this section. But that all-wheel drive is going to be a big advantage for Rise. Plus, you know, 1,000 horsepower, plus I'm understeering off like a scrub. I never took that off. I was supposed to take that off and put the NFR logo somewhere, but... let's remember to do that after the race. I'm always going to have the advantage over Rise in any sort of corner, because my car doesn't weigh 2 tons. A pretty big run on her down this back straight, but it might not matter because of the power difference. Let's go too wide as we head towards the corner that's trying to be Dover International Speedway. And Rise has just forced me off the track. Alright. Thank you! Very cool. And, I guess I won't have to worry about taking that sticker off the car anymore. Because, this thing is totaled from that. Complete suspension failure, you can see on the damaged thing there. Everyone just slowly proceeds through the caution zone because my car can't go anywhere, but we're not going to red flag the race when Rise is about to reach the final turn. And despite her not quite so, not quite so, what's the word? Not quite clean racing, she will take the win here at Lago Maggiore. Not so diplomatic, that was the word I was looking for. James Stillwell and David Danvers will remain, well, make up the podium finishers. And, yeah, so much for Contingency C needs a new contingency plan because it's wrecked. Complete suspension failure. Be sure to give Rise a piece of my mind for that one. I don't care how heavy your car is. You're understeering, you slow down more, you don't just push somebody off the fucking track. And the third race of the episode is green. Time for some 720 class racing. Alright. Okay, Kogasa. You must have a death wish. Now, I don't think our POV driver Riley Blanchard was a big fan of that move. Just a guess. Anyway, 720 class racing at a... well, actually, it'll be a pretty decently long race here. 4 laps at our top list. This is going to probably run us into the 8-minute range. Now Riley finds herself unhappy with the rate of speed Ryan Stevens is carrying through some of these turns. A bit of grass on the tires for the Corvette. Just clearly not wasting time, just trying to cut through the grid as efficiently as possible, be it with or without the use of her body panels. The end of lap 1, and Riley is already getting past the top 10 because there are vehicles pitting in for damage. Now suddenly she's in P7. Why did I think L2 would change car, or change view? That's not the button. Thrasher is leading the way from Ashley, and Thrasher's own teammate Natsuki rounds out the top 3 at the moment. Oh, no, good job, Brian. Just gave himself damage on the back of Danvers' Viper. And apparently his Viper is no worse off for it. Oh, Jesus. More grassy tires. Now there's the warning headlights, basically saying speed it up or get out of the way. I think Ash just got a bit defensive there after Riley got into the back of her. Very interesting turn of events there. Oh shit, here we go again. We're just run over all of the curb, trying to drive as little of the track as possible. That doesn't surprise me at all. What about you? And put him in the gravel. Put him in a coffin. Doesn't seem like either one has DNF'd, although Thrasher's having to wait for some traffic to go by. And Riley, of course, does not hold herself to such, you know, pitiful requirements such as waiting for traffic. Oh, no, no, no. Riley's late for her own accident, didn't you know? But your front aero damage certainly is not going to stop her from trying to win this race again. But anyway, regardless of the means necessary. Head out Gemini out of the last turn. Ashley has to fix her car after it got promptly smacked in the ass by Riley. And the leaders are just ahead, so she's still in striking distance of the win, regardless of the bullshit that just took place between her and Thrasher. A little bit of understeer along the way, though. Okay, a lot. Oh, big snap from the vet. I'm thinking it's probably got a bit of damage, making it harder to use. Natsuki takes defensive measures into that hairpin. Taking... no, never mind. I thought she was going defensive again. She... no, she is. She's trying to trick Riley into doing the same thing that she just did to her teammate. Oh! Oh, Natsuki's heading up your shit, Riley. Goodbye! Once again, not a DNF for the Corvette. A little bit of suspension damage, and definitely sent a message to Riley there. how much the relationship between Thrasher and Natsuki has evolved. They used to hate each other. Now Natsuki just avenged Thrasher and goes to take the checkered flag to win at Autopolis, followed directly by David Danvers and another Viper in the form of Gemini. Also Cam is there. Riley still comes home with P5 despite her interactions. But she could not stop Black Stallion from taking victory today. Even if not Thrasher, it's somebody else instead. Yeah, Thrasher unsurprisingly demoted to last after that. But he did still finish the race. This car, from what I can tell, still works. So, man, he got lucky. I just remember the last time I came across her at this track. I did not. It's a downpour, not really, just an average rainy day here at Suzuka as we get started in a 640 class race. Only 3 laps due to the length of the track and the fact that we are driving, mid-level sports cars, not top-end supercars like the last 2 races. We are focused on POV, the focus driver of this one is Kazuma Hanamura in his Sega 180. Oh, where'd that come from? Battling up ahead between 2 subcompacts, basically. Gotta have to fight to get this fucking camera to show up. And here's the driver's scene. Not much. It's raining. Not a whole lot, but it is raining enough to affect driving. Enough to require the use of intermediate tires instead of racing slicks. But not much more than that. As Kazuma unsteadily as he goes, takes 15th away from Vincent Houston. He's got a good run out of Spoon, so he might get some spots here, and oh boy did he ever. There's 4 more down before we even reach 130R. Another spot grabbed on Namatame's MR2. And despite the conditions, it seems everyone's actually taking it more cautiously as a result of them. So nobody has to pit in to fix any damage on their vehicle. Oh, suddenly Hanamura snuck his little pop-up headlights into shot. Never mind, so much for that whole theory about no one taking damage. That said, I don't know why Parada is taking the S's at 60 miles an hour or less. As I just almost get backed up back into Hanamura for a second time. I've been too wide with Aliris through the whole S's. Eventually both she and Kazuma are going to clear me, as that somehow I'm not taking better advantage of all-wheel drive. Honestly, this has just not been my day. Kazuma deals with the Subaru, who also has no excuse for being slow in these conditions. Reiko Mishima started this race in pole position, has since been overtaken by Jake and Mizoto, and now by her boyfriend as well. And just like that, the sun emerges. The rain has stopped, but obviously the track is still going to be a bit wet. And I'd be kind of surprised if it even noticeably evaporates in the next, what, 3 minutes? Kazuma wanted them both right there into the chicane. Gets kind of rubbed up against by Mizoto. He's not pitting to fix that damage. Obviously, still some decent pace in the vehicle with it. And the final lap is upon us. Kazuma tries reverse psychology to throw Jake off his defensive line, but Jake did not care. But Jake lacks the necessary wheelbase for good stability out of turn 2. And just like that, Hanamura is the new leader of the race. So, the audio is still playing as the rain is still falling on the car. There is no rain. The rain has stopped. Everyone's windshield wipers are turned off. There's no raindrops hitting the windshield or any other part of the vehicle. And yet, it still sounds like rain's hitting Kazuma's vehicle. Good job, Polyphony. Good job. As looking at the moisture meter in the bottom left, the rain it's drying up somewhat. It's just not going to be enough to matter because there's only about a minute left in the race and there's still water on the track. You're not about to for slick tires when you're coming up to the line. There's just no point in that. Yuko Mizoto has taken P2 from Jake, presumably after a fit of oversteer from the bug driver. Jacqueline Monte Carlo is taking good use of her all-wheel drive car. She's in P4, but she's not. I don't think she'll get much further than that, considering we've got a couple of corners to go. Nakamura just about understeered right off the circuit, but kept it under him. That would have been an embarrassing way to lose the race right there. It's a final turn for the 180 driver. Kazuma had to go fast, and he wins at Suzuka, despite the changing conditions on the track. Nico Mizzoto and Jake Scarborough will be the podium result. Completely different podium compared to who started there, I'm fairly certain. Pole sitter only gets P5, for example. Yeah, that's, I mean, it's like our first straightforward race of the episode, and it came with rain to go with it. Because we had, well, the first race was kind of straightforward. But then we had the absolute mess of races 2 and 3. So, back to normality, even with a bit of rain on the track, it's still more normal than either of the last two events were. And from looking at my commentary cards, the next race isn't going to be any more sane than those two. So, don't get used to the, regularity too much. And we have finally arrived for the roulette race of the episode. It is, Mount Bathurst. Nope, Mount Panorama and or Bathurst. And, and I know what you're probably thinking. All of these cars of this track are going to have completely different characteristics. Why are we having them all run on this really not big circuit? And to that, I say, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you why we thought this would be a good idea, but there's probably going to be some people reaching into the pocketbook after this one too, as if we haven't had to do enough of that today. And Ituri in her Aventador, being in 720 class, automatically gets a pretty good start because it's going to get ahead of all the cars that aren't 720 class in short order. She slipped her way ahead of Joseph Miller through the weirdest corner you can pass somebody at. Ituri used to live on a mountain, so I feel like that probably has some kind of advantage. Even if she never had cars back when she lived on there, she probably still has some concept of how being on a mountain, being somewhere with a lot of elevation changes can change the way physics are acting on something, or whatever kind of techno-babble she usually rambles off with whenever she's finished her paperwork. Usually I still haven't by that point. Tries to send one down the inside on Danvers. Doesn't quite work. All of the curb. Danvers is defending like a maniac. A little bit too much defending, and he finds himself off of the circuit entirely, which Jake Scarborough will take full advantage of that. Sophia Meyer, I think, had pole, and she's currently under some vague threat from a car category below her in the form of Francesca Fidanzi's Testarossa. And here comes Nituri to probably apply even further pressure and or take the lead in a few moments. As the sun is rising somewhere. There it is. Holy crap, there's the sun, yep. So he's using all of the racetrack through here. Oh, jeez. I think he just got a bit unstable there. Running on the back bumper of Francesca and probably became unstable. Try not to run her over. There's a speed billboard there? What the fuck? I thought that channel stopped existing like 10 years ago. Oops. That was quite a shot. Ahead of the Testarossa, now only one more obstacle in the form of Sophia Meyer here. At least for now. Unless Jake Scarborough really gets on the move and he catches up to the two of them before Nidori can deal with the McLaren driver. Sophia defending into one, kind of, or maybe just trying to break the toe, one or the other. Quite the exit from the Aventador, so this will probably seal the deal. Yeah, no doubt in my mind there. Nidori is now the leader here at Bathurst. Overall and in categories, I want to say that I think there's 2 cars in this category in this race. Parker and Scarborough, the only 760s here to my recollection. As you can see, there's the Mach 40. Thrasher's already fixed it, just in 2 days. And here we see this. There are 600 cars in this race, which is kind of rare. A masterful run down the mountain. You'd think she lived here. Sophia's time has finally come as Jake overtakes her to take second place away. Now he has to try and catch Nidori. She has a pretty healthy gap though, so that might not be the easiest task even if he is in a faster car. Especially not when he kind of missed that turn just there. Parker got damaged, so that's one of the 760 class cars out of the running. I wonder if who I think did that. He has it here. And here. Well, it has to be, right? Yep. Well, so much for the, honoring the name. And Francesca herself also had to pit. Also, oh dear, we seem to have had a misstep. Okay. So that's how this happened. That's why he has damage, but this was 2 laps ago. And he just idly slides back into the path of Brian Ice, causing both cars to receive pretty significant damage. But they both don't pit on this lap, and I don't understand why they didn't do that. Instead, they elect to pit on the very next lap. That was dumb. Yeah, in comes Aquila Thrasher also got damaged, not from that though. I think he must have got it on the way through the chase. Probably. Just give Brian more damage. I'm sure he loves you. Yeah, well. I'm surprised he didn't spin all the way out there. I don't quite know what was going through Thrasher's head there. Not his best work. I just give him a bit of payback. Yeah, he wasn't downshifting there, so I think there's a bit of tension between these two now, too. And that'll be an interesting development post-race. We've already had plenty of those interesting developments today. Bathurst is a track known for getting under people's skin, so, well... looks like today that skin is Canadian. Jake is catching Nituri, but not super fast. Still not as fast as I expected him to do. Danvers has also overtaken the 650S. My dad currently leads the 680 class ahead of myself and my mom. Go figure. I didn't even know Tyler was in this race. Am I dumb? I mean, I guess Nituri did handle the starting grid sheets and stuff, so I was, you know, in the race, and because we're in different categories, I just never saw him. He's not the only one either. I didn't know that, I didn't know that Joseph Miller was in it either. So I passed him. I didn't know any of these two were in it, because I started ahead of all three of them. So I didn't even know there was a 600 class in the race. Apparently down the mountain, Nituri pulled back ahead of Jake, and we're starting what should be the final lap of competition here, as it is now a full-blown afternoon. It's about a 2-second lead for Nituri as we are heading up the mountain for the last time. Even with a bit of a safety net though, Nituri is still pushing her car to its limits through the top, like, you know, through the whole mountain section. Getting up to the chase one more time. Jake sort of present in the distance, but honestly not really close enough to be a threat to the Lamborghini. All of the curb used once again, and actually a bit of the grass. But out of the last turn emerges the Kappa. And Nituri Kawashiro is going to win here at the roulette round of Mount Panorama. Jake Scarborough will claim P2 in the category win, and David Danvers finishes his overall podium. Sophia Meyer, not the greatest performance. As other category winners, my dad wins for 680. And Liv Newstein wins for 640. And Panamura wins for 600. And that'll conclude matters here in episode 51. For the most part. Yeah, it concludes the racing action, at least.